Hey everyone, my name is crZym and today I wanna take a look at the FAMAS. At first I wasn't really convinced that the FAMAS was any good as after the nerf did, but I found out that it is a lot of fun to play with if you use it right. And why is that? It's at 1000 rounds per minute. It beats every other gun in the game in close range up to medium range, and so this means you're gonna outgun M16s, AKs and whatsoever, and that can be a ton of fun if you got a lot of M16 tryouts on your server and you can teach them some manners. So if you look at the gun and we compare it to an AEK, which is quite popular, can say I guess, the aiming down sight accuracy is slightly worse, everything else is the same, and also recoil is pretty much the same, only that it pulls to the right, whereas the AEK pulls to the left. And vertical recoil is a little bit more, but that shouldn't matter too much since you can control it quite easily. So as we think about it, the way an AEK and the FAMAS plays are so different, and that is pretty much only because the FAMAS get 100 rounds per minute more, making the recoil that much more, or at least appear much more. It isn't really that much more in the end. So I got the attachment patterns at the end this time pretty much for one reason, because I found out that really you can play with pretty much everything. The only thing I would always put on there is a foregrip, since you want to get rid of the side-to-side recoil, because you can't really bother about that with the high rate of fire. So foregrip is pretty much necessary, and about all the other attachments we're gonna take a look at it at the end. But I want to say a couple of words about the FAMAS first. When I played with it, I found out that there are a couple of things that are really important that you gotta learn while playing with it. This gun is especially, you gotta really learn it, and it's not something like, okay, you take it and you just kill everyone with it. If you want to be really like effective with it, you gotta spend some time with it. That's at least my opinion. So what are the most important things to do? First thing is you gotta get used to the high recoil. That means you gotta really pull down your mouse much more, and that takes a little bit of a time to learn, but it's not too bad. Another thing, you really gotta get the time to kill into your head. You gotta know how many bullets you gotta shoot to kill a guy, and you gotta know it like it's gotta be in your blood. If you tap the trigger, you know exactly when a guy is gonna die, and that is really important since the FAMAS only got 26 bullets in the magazine and the reload is fairly slow. So you gotta learn how to manage this. If you kind of play around with it and get used to it and get the time to kill in your head, you can kill a couple, or I would say 3 guys with 1 mag, but it takes a lot of discipline. And so yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't think that the FAMAS can really compete with other guns. First of all, it isn't that good at long range, and it requires you to think a lot, and this might not be too bad on team deathmatch or something, but if you're playing a rush game or something, I believe that you always gotta think like, how are the enemies, where should you move, and all that kind of tactical thinking in your head. And if you gotta use a lot of your thoughts for how you shoot your gun, it's not gonna be the best for you. But still, the FAMAS is a lot of fun to play because of the 1000 rounds per minute, and it's really a good experience. One important thing to consider with the FAMAS is the ammo, and you're burning through the ammo really fast due to 1000 rounds, and so I suggest you running squad ammunition as a specialization, and if possible have a support player near you, because you're gonna need it if you're staying alive just for a little bit of time. Your ammo is gonna be gone. And right here you can see where the FAMAS really has its strong side. The guy had the first shot on me, I still managed to kill him, and this is really where it makes such a lot of fun to play with it. Now, personally about the attachments, I think I like foregrip and suppressor the most. It also helps me, like the stealth is really a big advantage, and it also covers a little bit of a reload. If I'm not visible on the minimap, enemies don't know me, they are not as likely to rush me, and so I have more time to reload my gun. But enough talking, let's hop into the bullet patterns and see what you can see there. The first thing is a naked FAMAS, as always, naked gun. And what you can see here, the patterns are pretty messed up, and nothing is really accurate. So naked, it doesn't feel that good. I mean, it's alright if you aim down sights in close range, but other than that, you're not gonna hit a lot. The first thing you want to put on it is a foregrip, and as I said, I would always use it. It helps your hipfire accuracy, and it helps your accuracy at any range, since you can't control it side-to-side recoil with that high rate of fire. So if you put a heavy barrel in it, and this seems kind of controversial because you think, okay, this gun got a lot of recoil. If you put a heavy barrel in it, there's even more recoil. But yeah, not too bad in my opinion. And but I would again use it with foregrip, mainly for the thing that the hipfire is really bad, and especially with the FAMAS, you're gonna be in close range. You're gonna need some at least decent hipfire. So put your foregrip on there, and it's a lot better. So if we see that, it's not too bad, but we still see it's not accurate. And I played a little with the heavy barrel. It is a bit of fun. Sometimes it can be accurate, sometimes it isn't. So it isn't reliable. And personally, I don't really like the heavy barrel, but give it a shot. As I said, pretty much everything can work with it. It's a little bit weird, but I wouldn't use heavy barrel mainly for the one thing that your hipfire accuracy is too bad. And for the other things, it is a benefit, but hipfire accuracy is bad, so I would rather stay away from it. The next thing is the silencer, and this is one of my favorites, I guess. And the reason for this is pretty much, you can see it in a second. Without a foregrip, it's not too good, especially the hipfire, and I don't like that. You need a decent hipfire on the thing. So with a foregrip, hipfire is still bad, so yeah, you gotta work around that. But what I like about it is that the first couple of bullets in both 4mm and 10mm are somewhat accurate in a line. You know, it's not about that it's just easy to control, but it's somewhat a line that is pretty much straight. I mean, there's some kind of little bullets that go out of the way, but at least there's a little bit of a straight line, and it really seems really controllable with a suppressor. So that's one of the setups that are around with it. Another thing that we can put in there is the flash suppressor, and especially if you have a problem controlling the vertical recoil, you can really put that on there and it's gonna help you a bit. Again, it's a little bit better with a foregrip maybe, and so yeah, this is also one thing. If you have problems managing the recoil, flash suppressor on this weapon actually works. I don't usually like that thing, but it helps a little bit, and you can try that if you have a lot of problems with the recoil. The next thing we can put on there is a laser sight, and this actually makes a lot of sense since it is a close quarters weapon. You're gonna be hip firing, and laser sight, why not? But when you're about to hip fire a lot, foregrip even makes the gun better, and that's also a thing that you can run, makes it quite nice for hip fire, and one of the good setups as well. So this is basically my two things that I run: foregrip and suppressor, foregrip, laser sight, and not much more. And as I said, recoil control is really the key here. Knowing your time to kill, knowing when to reload, and really controlling how many bullets you got in your mag. So yeah guys, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you have some more questions, please ask them in the comments. Anyway, I wish you a nice day, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.